Texas Rangers, not just a police force, but a baseball team. The Texas Rangers actually started life in 1961 as the Washington Senators. That's right. They were an expansion team in the American League, the first expansion team in the American League because they used to only have 8 teams in each league. Now it's up to 10 with them and the Los Angeles Angels, aka the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim of the Western Hemisphere, being there too. Washington's second win with a baseball team didn't really do that well. And the worst part about it is that they were actually going to win their final game in history, but the fans were just overzealous and angry that the team would be sold to Texas. So, unfortunately for the Washington Senators, they lost out of the forfeit. And Washington almost was a 500 team at that time. So, anyway, the Washington Senators became the Texas Rangers. Texas didn't really have a strong start. Ted Williams was the manager of that team, but Ted Williams was kind of a rat that didn't really like to manage his team. He'd rather go golfing and all that, and or fish. So anyway, Texas wasn't too happy with their team. In fact, in 1973, owner Bob Short desperately tried to get David Clyde to pitch some games for Texas, the 17-year-old number one overall pick of the Rangers. Clyde did it on one condition: he would be not sent down to the minors for the 73 season. Short agreed, and his deal actually worked. He got some butts in the seats. Unfortunately, though, I didn't have Texas do it so well. Texas, for the longest time, suffered, and they really suffered through everything. They were getting a renaissance in the 1990s with a new stadium that was pretty nice. Oh, by the way, they're moving out of the Texas Stadium into a new one next year, if memory serves me right. But anyway, we'll talk about that 90s resurgence. But 96 was finally the year that Texas got to the playoffs. And oh boy, did they enjoy themselves. They they finally got a World Series, but the chance at a World Series, but the Yankees took them out in the League Division Series. 98, same thing. Texas couldn't catch a break if they wanted to. They tried desperately trying to get some new faces in new places. Texas's big breakthrough was in 2010 when they finally won a playoff round. Not only that, they got to the World Series against the San Francisco Giants. Basically, they were like, well, we got the Giants right where they want them. And the Giants had never won a title outside of New York when they were the New York Giants. Wrongo. Convention didn't work for the Giants. The Giants sent the Rangers home in 6 games. Kung Fu Panda Pavel Sandoval once had a 3-home run game in that World Series. Then Texas came back again in 2011. Hey, back-to-back years in the World Series. You can't lose back-to-back years, can you? Conventionally, you can. And they did. They lost to the St. Louis Cardinals in 7. They had 2 chances in Game 6 of the World Series to knock off the Cardinals in St. Louis. But unfortunately, a big triple with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth by somebody. I forget. I would say Berkman, but I'm wrong. David Freese actually, and I think it was David Freese, and then David Freese hit a walk-off home run in the 11th inning to send the series to Game 7. And unfortunately for Texas, they lost Game 7. They lost all the freaking momentum. So anyway, Texas in 2012 actually made a massive comeback. They were actually down 5 games in the division with 7 to play, or was it against Oakland? I think they choked a 5-game lead with 7 to go in the playoffs. 7 to go to get to the playoffs, and Oakland came back to win the division. I could have easily done that, but there's a reason why I'm doing the Texas team. Texas hasn't been doing that badly, but they haven't had much luck. 2015, 2016, they looked like playoff achievers. They got to the LDS, but both times got met by an unforgiving Toronto Blue Jays squad. Despite the fact that Texas won the first 2 games in Toronto in 2015, they couldn't win another game. They couldn't win on home turf and lost Game 5 thanks to Jose Batista's infamous bat flip. 2016, Texas and Blue Jays were in a midseason battle when Rui Odor clocked Jose Batista and basically Texas cheered. But they didn't cheer much because the Blue Jays won the 1-game wild card to face Texas in the playoffs. And how about that? Texas couldn't even win 1 game on home turf. Toronto swept the Texas Rangers by a score of 7-6 in the 10th inning. And that famous sign, I'd rather be punched out in May than knocked out in October. Truer words have never been spoken. So anyway, yeah, Texas hasn't been doing that well since. So anyway, let's talk about the 1994 Texas Rangers. You'll be thinking, why are you talking about the 94 Texas Rangers? I know you want to talk about the 94 season, but fuck, why not the 94? Why the 94 Texas Rangers? Simple. As I mentioned in a few videos I posted on August 12th, because of the strike, the day the baseball strike rocked the world, the Texas Rangers actually ended up in first place in the AL West at the time of the strike. Strangely enough, at 52-62, Texas won the division by 1 game over Oakland and 2 over Seattle, although Seattle did have a few games in hand. So anyway, here's the funny thing. Texas is a percentage of .456. Here's the strange thing. Every team in the AL East, Yankees, Orioles, Jays, Sox, and Tigers, and every team in the AL Central, White Sox, Cleveland, Royals, Twins, Brewers, actually did better than Texas. Texas had a 45% percentage, and they would have been last in the East or Central. That is fucked up. In the NL East, every team minus the Marlins in the NL East had a better mark than Texas. The Cubs were the only team in the NL Central worse than Texas. Texas actually would have been in third place in the NL West behind the Dodgers and the Giants. Sad but true. So anyway, the 94 Texas Rangers actually had the division. Technically got a division title in 94, which meant they would have had to face somebody. Though this was the first year of the wild card. And the way it was in the American League, the Yankees actually had the highest amount of wins, White Sox second, Texas third, and Cleveland fourth, because Cleveland's a wild card team. Usually they don't rank them higher than the division winners. So Texas, by proxy, would be in third place. Would have faced the Chicago White Sox in the AL Central in the ALDS. Cleveland would play the Yankees. In the NL, it would have been Montreal versus Los Angeles, because Atlanta's technically number 4, Montreal number 1. They couldn't meet each other. So Atlanta would face the next highest guy, which would be Cincy, who won by half a game over the Houston Astros. Well, they had the game in hand on the Astros. Imagine if the Houston Astros sucked. But Atlanta had 68 wins. The Astros had 66. They were close. Oh, let's go. Yeah, right. So anyway, the Expos would have played the Dodgers, and the Reds would play the Braves. So, assuming in 94 that the Expos would go all the way to the World Series for the National League, I mean, they're the best fucking team in the league, they would have taken down Atlanta. So this is what I'm going to do. Texas would take on the Chicago White Sox. So Texas will play the White Sox in the best of 5 LDS, leaving the Yankees and the Indians. Now, I'm assuming that the New York Yankees are a solid team, the best team in the AL. So the Yankees would technically be the Indians. So here's the thing. If the so basically, this is about Texas Rangers. Texas would have to win the series. Because if they don't, then we will assume that the Yankees would have taken care of the White Sox and then lost to the Expos in the World Series. So that's how we're going to play it, and that's how it shall be. All right, so Texas and the White Sox meet in the ALDS. Now, of course, we don't have rosters or pitching rotations to go off of, so 94. So it's going to be Kevin Brown and Jack McDowell, obviously. And at Comiskey Park, the White Sox beat the tar out of Texas 9-1. Tim Raines hits a home run. Tim Raines still played for the 94 White Sox? Karkovice with a bases loaded walk to score Frank Thomas, 2-0. Ozzie Guillen with a 2 RBI double for Darren Jackson and Ron Karkovice to score. Darren Jackson, of course, is well known in Blue Jay circles because he's the guy that San Diego sent to Toronto for Derek Bell, because Derek Bell was hot dogging in spring training. And, of course, we traded Jackson to the Mets for Tony Fernandez. Jeff Fry gets an RBI single to score Will Clark. Will Clark played for the Rangers that time? Joey Cora with a 2 RBI double, and Tim Raines heads at GRD, ground rule double, scored Joey Cora. And then Ron Karkovice hits a home run, 9-1. Amazing. Kevin Brown only goes 4 in the third innings. Not really a strikeout guy this time. Matt Whiteside, Bruce Hurst. Bruce Hurst was still playing 94? And Jay Howe. Even Jay Howe was still around 94. The White Sox, you see there. Reigns and sacrifice for home runs. Reigns with 2 RBIs. Sacrifice with 3. Game with 2. Cora with 2. Blackjack went 6 2/3. Then Roberto Hernandez, who I thought would be the closer, but he wasn't. And Jose De Leon. All right, so that's one. White Sox go with Kenny Rogers against Wilson Alvarez. The lefty on lefty battle. And wouldn't you know it, the Texas Rangers have the better lefty, 11-0. Amazing. Pudge Rodriguez hit a home run to center field in the 3rd inning. Amazing. In the 7th, Will Clark gets a sac fly, and Jeff Fry gets an RBI single. Score a run. Ken Sanko. Rusty Greer, fielder's choice to score Palmer, 6-0. And then the 9th, the floodgates open. Juan Gonzalez with 2 RBI single. David Halls? Jeez. Bases loaded walk to score 1 go. Juan Gonzalez. Then Greer draws a bases loaded walk to score Dean Palmer. Then Ken Sanko gets a sac fly to score Manny Lee. Amazing. 11-0. Halls, Greer, Canseco, Clark, Pudge, Fry, Gonzalez with RBIs. Kenny Rogers obviously went the whole way. I mean, giving up only 3 hits. 2 to Tim Raines. That's amazing. Lance Johnson got a triple and couldn't score. Wait a minute. He got a triple and he couldn't score? Oh, because Tim Raines grounded out. Wilson Alvarez only won 7 innings, and Jose De Leon, Dennis Cook, and Roberto Hernandez. So on to Arlington for game number 3. They throw Alex Fernandez in there against Rick Helling. A young Rick Helling. And the White Sox, it worked. 7-3. Rick Helling throws a wild pitch to score a runner. Jose Canseco gets an RBI single. 1-0. And then Julio Franco, 2-run home run center field. That can't be right. Julio Franco played for the White Sox? That can't be right. I know who Julio Franco is. Jose Canseco hit a home run to right field in the bottom of the 4th to make it 3-2. John Franco, Julio Franco again with an RBI, 4-2. Juan Gonzalez makes it 4-3, and then in the top of the 9th, the White Sox showed their fight. Tim Raines with an RBI single for Lance Johnson, and Franco again with a home run, 7-3. That can't be right. Julio Franco played for the 1994 White Sox? He did. Sure did. You see here, he played a lot of years. Well, he was in Japan for like 4 years, wasn't he not? Played for the 94 White Sox. I can't believe it. I thought he would have went somewhere else. And then, of course, the 96 Indians. Wow. That's amazing. He went to the White Sox instead of Texas. Jeez. Worst part about this is that basically he ruined his former team. Julio Franco, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. I had no clue Julio Franco was on the 94 White Sox. I would have thought he would have been on Texas. Alex Fernandez, 6 innings. Roberto Hernandez, Kirk McCaskill, the Canadian. Finishing off Canseco, 2 RBIs, 1 goal, 1. Helling, 5 innings. Then Oliver, Chris Carpenter, and Jay Howe. But not that. I don't think that Chris Carpenter was the one who pitched for the Jays. No, the Chris Carpenter who pitched for the Jays actually had an H in his name. And Chris. So at 2-1, obviously they go back to their starters. 3-man rotation in the LDS. So the White Sox win 1 more. It's current for Texas. But no, Texas wins 7-4. Frank Thomas gets an RBI double in the 1st inning. But then in the 2nd, things open up for Texas. Manny Lee, RBI single to score 1 go. Rusty Greer, 2 RBI single. And Jose Canseco, sac fly, 4-1. Yay. Joey Cora got a triple to score Ozzie Guillen, and then Lance Johnson got an RBI, 4-3. Frank Thomas, the big hurt, made it 4-4, and we all thought, oh, the White Sox are good. Nope. Dean Palmer, RBI single. Manny Lee, RBI single. 6-4. Then Rusty Greer iced it with a home run. 7-4. Jack McDowell wasn't himself. He sucked. Robert Hernandez an inning. Oh, by the way, I got a pinch runner DH. Oh, okay. Thomas 2 RBIs. Johnson Cora with 1. Texas. Greer with 3 RBIs. Canseco, Palmer, Manny Lee with 2. Kevin Brown wasn't the guy who won. It was Darren Oliver. With Tom Hankey. Yes, that Tom Hankey with the save. At 2-2, obviously they go to game 5 at Chicago. Texas needs to go with Kenny Rogers. The White Sox do go with Alvarez for the lefty on lefty battle. And it didn't. And we have a 10-inning game. Pudge Rodriguez RBI single to score Conseco 1-0. Then Pudge hits a home run to center field to make it 2-0. Manny Leaf gets a sac fly to make it 3-0, and David Hulse with an RBI single. 4-0 Texas, and the White Sox have not got a hit until Frank Thomas hits one to center. You can put it on the board. Yes. Ozzie Guillen makes it 4-2 with an RBI groundout. Dean Palmer with an RBI single for Fry, and David Hulse got an RBI sac fly for Dean Palmer. So 6-2. Franco RBI single to score Tim Raine 6-3. Texas is like, okay, we got this. The White Sox had a run around third base, but Joey Cora whiffs. What's worse is that Juan Gonzalez hit a home run to right field, and we're thinking 7-3, that's it. But then things go ahead. After Franco strikes out swing with the bases loaded, Robin Ventura gets a sac fly. No big deal, it's 7-4. And then Darren Jackson comes in to the box against Aaron Oliver. Stretch. You can put it on the board. Yes. Darren Jackson? Are you serious? 7-7 tie. Texas gets the runner on third in the ninth. Juan Gonzalez grounded into a double play. The White Sox don't do anything in their half of the ninth. Now it's Texas in their 10th. Carpenter comes in to pitch. Frank Thomas walks. Julio Franco hits a big single to center field. Robin Ventura hits a single to center field. Jeff Fry, off the relay, throws it to the catcher, Pudge. No! Frank Thomas slides in under the tag. It's kind of reminiscent of the sliding under Pudge's tag in the 94 All-Star game. And the White Sox win 8-7. So obviously we have to assume that the New York Yankees would have been the AL champions and lost to Montreal. For Texas, I feel for them. Pudge and Gonzalez with home runs. Hulse with 2 RBIs. Pudge with 2. Go with 1. Palmer and Lee with 1 each. Kenny Rogers 7 2/3, but Darren Oliver is the one who fucked it all up. Chris Carpenter with the loss. The White Sox. Thomas, Franco, Ventura, Darren Jackson, Ozzie Guillen. Wilson Alvarez went 6 innings and didn't get anything. Hernandez, Kurt McCaskill, Dennis Cook is the hero. Wow. Well, this one went very quickly. Texas, no good.